Well, welcome everyone. We're so excited that you're here to be on Redox Nurse Talk this evening with Cindy and I. I'm Doria Stewart from Atlanta, Georgia, and my partner is Cindy Reed from Nashville. And we're excited to be able to share a breakthrough with you this evening. And if this is your first time with us, we're excited that you're here. This is going to be worth your while for sure. And so what we'd like to do is we like to let everybody know that we have a wonderful guest on this evening that Cindy's going to be interviewing. But we'll show you a video because some of you may be new and just been invited for the very first time. So you don't even know what you've come to. Your interest has been piqued by the people that have invited you on here, but now we want to, tell you a little bit about what you're going to be hearing about. And so we're going to, just go ahead and get started. What we'd like to do is show you a video. So Cindy, what are we going to be seeing this evening?
Tonight, I chose Dr. David Silverman's 6 Reasons video, and this just kind of gives you a little glimpse of what the technology is and what it could do, and maybe why people are looking at it for various reasons. So I will go ahead and share my screen, and we'll start with that. Fix this. Okay, it's a work in progress.
Is Dr. David Silverman. I live just outside of Washington, D.C. My background is podiatry and foot surgery. I don't practice anymore. I'm shooting this very, very brief video about something that's extremely important, and it is truly going to be important for you or someone who you love, literally. It's something that you are going to know about very soon. It's a breakthrough, and as with all breakthroughs, they all sound too good to be true until someone finds out about it. And there was an article in the Huffington Post in 2016 about this breakthrough. And it is this. It's a product called ASEA Redox. And this video that I'm shooting, I'm not explaining what this is. I shot a video called whyitspossible.com. You can look at that if you want to understand what it is. The purpose of this video is to make you listen, hopefully listen to the person who's bringing it to you and say, can you please tell me more about this? I was introduced to it 8 years ago. My friend brought it to me, as your friend is bringing it to you. And the only reason I took the time to look at it was for my father. It wasn't for me. I'll tell you the reasons why people do look at this for different reasons. But for me, it was my father. He had a very grave issue. And he was told he had an issue that people are told they have in different parts of their body, whether it's their lung or their prostate or their bone. And so I was intrigued to know more about this. This is not a drug, okay? There's no toxicity to it. You can't be allergic to it. It doesn't interfere with any other things that you're doing for your health. It has created its own category. And so this is as I say, a breakthrough. And there are 2 products that I'm going to just talk to you about here. One is the drink version of this Redox. It's called Redox Signaling Molecules. The company is ASEA, A-S-E-A, and Renew 28, which is the topical version. After you hear the reasons why people take the time to look at this, and if you think it's too good to be true, when you take the gel, try this on 10 people who are hurting. Find 10 people who are hurting in their back, their neck, their knee, wherever, and ask them to rate their discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10. Have them give you 10 minutes, have them shake up the gel and apply it. And this is marketed for wrinkles and cellulite. It works. But have them apply this to the area that's hurting them 3 times in 5 minutes. And at the 10th minute, ask them how they're feeling. And you be the judge. You watch what happens. But that's a quick way to validate what I'm going to tell you here and the reasons why you might be looking at this. The first reason people look at this is because they have a health issue themselves. You may say, well, this sounds too good to be true, but I have a problem with my liver. I have a problem with my blood sugar. I have a problem with sleeping. I have a problem with my mood. I have a problem with my lung. So you're looking to see maybe this product can help you. That's reason number 1 of the 6 reasons why people take the time to look at this and not dismiss it. The second reason was my reason. Maybe you love somebody who's ill, your mother, your father, your child, and you think, God, I can't take the chance of dismissing this and then find out later that it could have helped someone I love, who may not even be here by the time you look at this because you didn't look at it now. So maybe that's the reason. The third reason is the anti-aging benefits. This product, what this does for the skin, proven what it does for wrinkles and skin elasticity and even cellulite. It's a cellular health, a cellular level of benefit. This does the same thing for the cells on the inside of the body. But maybe you're not interested in sleeping better, or you don't believe the other things you're hearing about this product. Maybe you just want to look younger. That's fine. We just want you to come in this amazing room of redox that has so many benefits. And if it's the wrinkles you want to get rid of that gets you in the door, and then you look at this later, that's fine. The fourth reason is people who want to protect their health. One of the things we notice is that people are generally healthier when they're younger. As we age, we get less healthy. We don't heal as quickly. Well, the fact is, what's in this is in you. It's in us. We produce more of it when we're younger. When we're young, we produce a lot of these redox molecules. As we age, we produce less and less and less and less. They found a way to make it outside the body, safe as water, and you're raising the levels back up in your body. And so it's pretty cool to see the changes that happen. So maybe you just want to protect your health. The fifth reason is athletic performance. Athletes run much faster and further. We have Olympic gold medalists on this product. You can go to asiaathletes.co and you can see that. And the sixth reason is not the driver for most people. And it wasn't for me, but I looked at reason number 6 afterwards, after I saw what the product did. There's an opportunity created by this. A pharmaceutical company tried to buy this product and technology and the patents, and the founders said no, they were afraid they were going to bury it. At that point in 2007, they decided to bring it to a market a different way. In 2009, this became an opportunity. For anybody who is struggling or settling, financially, time freedom-wise, life satisfaction-wise, people go through life calling Wednesday hump day, that's life satisfaction. There's an opportunity here. Get with the person who introduced this to you, get your questions answered about this breakthrough, and if you're interested in the opportunity now, tell them. If you need to see the product work and it's patented and we're at the beginning of this, you can look at the opportunity later. But reason number 6 changed my life. Incredibly changed my life and my family's life, and it's changing a lot of people's lives. So take what you're hearing from your friend very seriously, and you can disbelieve, but suspend your disbelief and try to prove your friend wrong. This is an incredible breakthrough, and as I say, 3 times in 5 minutes, you find people who are hurting, put this on 3 times in 5 minutes, and you watch what happens. Not to 1, 2, or 3, not to 4, 5, or 6. Watch what happens to probably about 9 of them, and you'll know there's something very special here. Thank you so very much.
Okay. We like to change up the videos each week just to show a different one. And Dory and I are actually changing up the protocol and the format of our Redox Nurse Talk. So we're still trying to figure out a good fit, but we are skipping a few things just for sake of time. But we will go ahead and repeat the disclaimer that what you're seeing on this today is not something that will diagnose, treat, or cure anything. It just gives the body what it needs to function optimally. And Dory and I are both nurses. So as nurses, we see a lot of disease and illnesses, and we know what that can lead to. So you really want to be proactive with your health. Like David said, look at it, don't dismiss it, give it a try. You don't have anything to lose except possibly your bad health. So we do have an amazing guest on tonight, Steve Craig. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Steve Craig is from Houston, Georgia, a small town north of Atlanta. He's been married for 23 years with his wife, Janine, and they have 5 children, and I believe they have a couple of grandchildren as well. He has many hobbies, fishing, hunting, yard work, and they actually enjoy going out and doing gardening, but he's been able to do some traveling as well. He was in the transportation industry with FedEx as a sales manager. So I believe he's recently retired. I'm going to let him give you more of his story. But we are so welcome to have Steve here tonight. And Steve, you have a great bio. You can actually tell more of this as well, but some of the places you've been to, it's just amazing. And we'll talk about that more later. But just start us off with about what your ASEA journey looked like, or what piqued your interest when you came across this.
Yeah, well, thank you, Cindy and Dory, for having me tonight. It's certainly a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate your having me. So my story really began in 2020. I had received a phone call from a lady who I had not spoken to in well over 10 years, well, right at 10 years, but I was in a previous marketing business with her 15 years prior. And so she just had my contact information and called me up out of the blue and said, "Hey, remember me?" Well, that was in February of 2020. And you guys, everybody on here probably remembers what was happening in February of 2020. The world just shut down as we know it due to a virus. And so when she called and said, "Hey, this helps with your immune system," I was literally thinking, well, who in the world's not thinking about their immune system right now? With my job going on, we had just been taken off the street. In fact, FedEx globally shut down, took all sales, all managed, everybody was, we had to stay home. And so with that, it really affected my pay. In fact, I took a pay decrease. So when Dorothy called me, I wasn't thinking so much about my health as I was replacing the $15,000 pay cut I just took. And so I saw it really as an opportunity. And but I didn't know anything about the company and certainly didn't know too much about the product. And so I took some time. I did a little bit of research, but here's the real cool thing about it. It was really a God wink moment because she didn't know, and neither did I, when she called me in February, that I would learn in June of a major health challenge. Uh, Funny that David Silverman mentioned his dad because David is one of the people that I reached out to find out what it was he did for his dad because it was the same issue that I had. When he referred to rogue cells in your body and not wanting to have those anywhere, I had it in my prostate. But that started really in 2008. And that was when I first was diagnosed with that challenge. And I underwent major surgery. And so I had my gland removed and thought I was good. Unfortunately, I had a reoccurrence in 2012, and underwent a radiation treatment for the same issue. So good news was that for 12 years I was healthy. At least I thought I was. And then, like I say, in June of 2020, it had another recurrence. Well, by June, from February to June, I was taking this product. I had learned about it when I got the news of my health challenge. There was a couple people that I reached out to, and David was one of them. And I just wanted to know what did you do for your dad? How did this work? And what should I do? And again, we're not making medical claims, but for my particular challenge, I started taking an amount that was more than what we would say the recommended amount is. But I was doing it for my particular health challenge. And so trying to keep this all compliant, but I was able to go do a couple scans, a CT scan, and learned where my rogue cells were in the body. And so I was doing both the drink and the gel, applying the gel in the areas of closest proximity to where I had the issues. And so in 6 weeks, from one CT scan to the other PET scan to the next PET scan, I had already eradicated two of the areas. And so my wife got a call from the doctor, big hospital here in Atlanta, Emory. And he was asking, well, what are you doing? Is your husband, what is he doing? Is he taking a supplement? He said, at this point, we haven't administered treatment, nor will we. And what are you doing? I thought that was a very unusual question for a doctor to ask the patient. Because if they thought that there was something in a supplement that could be done, then why, and pray tell, would he be wanting to do these other treatments for me, which I knew I didn't want to do. And so he said, well, we don't know what to tell you. Keep doing what you're doing. And would you mind coming back in 6 weeks? And so I told him, as long as I'm still part of your research study and y'all are paying for it, I'll be happy to come do another PET scan. So the third PET scan that I did, I'll never forget it. It was the day before Thanksgiving of 2020. I went and had that scan, got the results back, and I got a clean bill of health. So just in that 12-week period, doing nothing more than using the redox. I was already a good taker of supplements. I've always believed in good nutrition and taking supplements. I did cut back on my sugar intake, dietary things. I didn't change much of anything. So I attribute it for the most part, 100% to, because that's all I did differently was use the ASEA product, both the drink and the gel. And so I was really excited about the outcome, I guess, and so was my family, of course, that I was around to live another day. So quite a life-changing event, but that's where I was when I saw the business in 2020. And for me then, I really wasn't actively building the business. I was, very busy with my job at FedEx and thought that I really didn't have the time. But when the 2021 rolled around, I thought, you know what? I I believe that other people deserve to know about this technology, and I could, in the cracks of the day, take some time and build a business. And so starting in 21, I did start uh, just sort of spreading the word, so to speak, and talking to people and just networking and building a business to the point that last year, it allowed me to step away from the company. And so this is what I do full time. So my passion now is to build my SEO business 100% full time. And it's enabled me to do that and get out of the rat race of the corporate world. So really excited about that. Cindy,
You're muted, Cindy.
Yeah, I just realized that. So you don't have to do like David Silverman was talking about. You're not anticipating hump day and thinking, that's life satisfaction, when you get to Wednesday each week. That's
That's correct.
amazing. You did this in 4 years, got to that point.
Yes. Yeah. And the first year, like I say, and starting in 2020, February, for the first, I don't know, 8, 10 months of 2020, I really didn't do a lot. And quite honestly, e- everything was shut down. You couldn't
Right.
get face to face with people per se, or they were hesitant on talking to you if you got in their space, so to speak. And so it gave me a little bit of time. And even with our company, we couldn't do any events or any of that kind of thing. So it gave me time to do my proper research on both the company, both on the product, uh, hear other people's testimonials, et cetera, and to where I just really, was all in.
So what would you tell someone that may be looking at this and they're skeptical? What would you say?
Yeah, well, I think it's some of our biggest business builders in this company. Many of them are professionals, and many of them are actually in the healthcare industry. I mean, take Dr. Maureen Hayes, who was a skeptic, and she is one of the biggest business builders. Uh, Donna Lynn Dominguez, a what is it, a baby, what do you call it?
Midwife, right?
Midwife.
Midwife. Mhm.
Ran the largest midwifery clinic in the state of Texas, one of the biggest skeptics ever. I mean, if you hear her story, she was as skeptic as the day is long, sat on product for 7 months that she would not take, refused to take until she had a major health challenge, and then was going to prove that the product didn't work, only to find that her also rogue cell challenge she eradicated and was the business builder of the year last year in ASEA. So I say, I don't have a problem with somebody being skeptical at all. And you're not trying to convince anybody of anything. We come from my passion being convicted because I know what the product can do. And so I'm not being convincing, I'm being convicted. And just help them maybe change, not trying to convince them, but just help them change their perception of whatever that perception is that they may have. So honestly, I think it's good to be skeptical. Yeah.
I think you're right. Like you said, some of the biggest business builders started off that way, but you're sharing from a passion from your heart because of what you've gone through and what you've seen this product do. And I think that's all of our passion is just to let people know this is an option out there um, to go along or in place of whatever you were doing that may or may not be working. And it can always supplement. I mean, it won't hurt. If nothing else, it can make what you're doing already work better. And also, there was a quick question I wanted to throw this in at this time. So, how much were you drinking, and did you slowly ramp it up?
So when I got the news of my health challenge, I immediately went to 16 ounces a day and applied the gel probably 3 or 4 times a day in the proximity of the areas that I knew where the rogue cells were. And that was through advice of some, well, some higher ups in the company that just knew through other testimonials the positive benefits that they had with these major health challenges. Because the average amount they would say is 4 ounces, right? That's what most people have always done, just from, but that might be a very average or very young, healthy 30-year-old, for example, that is doing just sort of a maintenance amount. But if somebody's got a major health challenge, you can't get too much of it for sure. It's zero toxicity, and so you can't be hurt by taking more. And so they found that the really a magic number for a major health challenges I had was 16 ounces a day,
Yeah.
and that's what I did.
And that's the thing, like we talked about. So we lose these molecules as we age or as we're exposed to toxins, which that in itself in our environment can potentially be what's triggering these rogue cells sometimes. So, and we're not 20 anymore, most of us. So you're going to need more. And just getting that going and just to jumpstart your immune system as well. I think it's good to always take more. And actually, Donna Lynn, I think for a while, wasn't she doing a bottle a day because she had so many, she was trying to get rid of it.
Mhm.
So yeah, you just have to find the sweet spot and what works for you. But I try to encourage people to do, especially if they're our age, 4 ounces twice a day minimal. And then if you feel like you're having a challenge, you feel like you're coming down with something or something else, you just need a little extra boost. I will have them, try to take another little extra 2 ounces during the day. It might help.
Mhm.
That's the thing about it. You can't overdo it. There's no toxicity. So with this business, and you've mentioned a little bit about it already, but what has this afforded you to be able to do besides step away from your corporate job? Didn't you have a few trips?
Yeah, one, get my health back, and I think that was the primary thing that I was addressing. And absolutely, the fact that it allowed me to step out of my job. um, I'm not going to say that I've replaced my income in full yet, but I will surpass my income that I was making at FedEx here shortly. So uh, that's a great thing. And just, the just having the peace about the weight off my shoulder of not having to do uh, the corporate job was just so rewarding. And yes, Cindy, my wife and I love to travel. We've, gosh, just in the last year have just really gone all over the world, and we're not done yet. So, but I mean, just recently this year went to down to Antarctica was one of the trips we took. Went to Argentina and then Antarctica, and I've been blessed to have a place down in the Dominican Republic. So I love going down there, and I call that my second home. Actually, I'd love to move there, quite honestly. I love the people, I love the culture, I love everything about it. And so we go down there as often as we can. Um, just we have 2 or 3 other trips planned. And one that I'm really looking forward to is just in about 3 weeks or so with the company. We're going to Africa on a mission trip with ASEA with their advancing foundation. So that's another one of the culture things that I love about the company that we're going to be able to partake. So I'm really blessed to be able to do that.
So, Steve, go into a little bit more information about the company, the culture, and you're talking about the Advancing Life Foundation that they do. Tell us, what do you feel our culture or our corporate leaders are like?
Yeah, wow. I've always been a entrepreneur. I felt like I, even at a very young age, doing a paper route where I got paid, but I was an entrepreneur, always entrepreneurially spirited. And I've always loved the direct marketing and the network marketing model. I could just never find the right company. And honestly, I cut my teeth in network marketing with Amway back in 1987. Um, Built a pretty decent sized business. And then I started hearing a lot of things that I just didn't agree with. I mean, at the upper echelons, some of the uh, leaders in that business just what I was hearing, it just wasn't right. It was not putting people first. And so I left that organization, and that was about 1992. Back then, if anybody here on here is old enough to remember, that was back during the years of the juices and the goji juice and the noni juice, and whose borax score is higher than the other. And I was a part of those, and they undermined and undersold the entire distributor base and dealt directly with, GNC and different companies. And so I thought, gosh, there's got to be something. And so a couple years went by and I partnered with a travel company. Well, the travel company lasted 2 years. And quite honestly, the travel company is where I met Dorothy, my sponsor. And so I really just got frustrated with the industry because I could just never find a company that had integrity, that really had a product or a service that was unique, that somebody else didn't have. And so again, it came back to ASEA when I was introduced to this in 2020. So that was a breath of fresh air. To talk about the culture, ASEA started their business by putting people first. And you mentioned it, Cindy. They had the opportunity back in 2009 to take a payout from pharmaceutical, or David was talking about that, Dr. Silverman. They were offered $80 million. And back in 2008 and 9, you remember that was our financial crisis. It would have been very easy for the owners of ASEA to take that money then and run and sell to Big Pharma. But on the other hand, they had 135 people that were taking the product whose lives had been either transformed or probably saved, and the owners were aware of that. And so they said, look, when they told Big Pharma, because that was the contingency, say, look, we're going to pay you the money, but here's the thing, those 135 people have to come off the product. And the owners of ASEA decided they're going to put those 135 people over the payout. And I can tell you that speaks volumes of the integrity of the company. And when I heard that and heard how that genesis story of our company, that was one of the first things that really impressed me with the company. Anybody who's probably already involved with our company knows that Tyler Norton, our president of the company, or the owner, is just, he is Mr. Ethos. And when I say ethos is the life of the company and what it stands for. In fact, I have a quote. I'll read a quote here. I mean, just what he invests in. And by the way, he teaches ethos to other businesses. But here's something that Tyler had said. He said, the most valuable untapped resource in the world is the human resource. Everyone you see is a deep ocean of limitless potential. We can awaken, inspire, empower that potential in others to believe, become, and belong. And so that is the ethos of our company. And I can tell you, just from been around corporate, even the company that I worked for touted that they had something like that or put people first, but I can assure you that it was nothing like what Tyler does and what the ethos is of ASEA and our company. You just don't find it in corporate America anymore. It's really more about the money and about the profit and the stockholders in that company. ASEA has no stockholders. And so it's all about our people, and people who become involved, they'll sense that very quickly. And certainly I did. And the opportunities that I've had to be around the leadership and the executive members of our company, I've had the opportunity to win a couple trips over the last 3 years. 2 of the 3 years of ASEA offers a reward trip, a qualifying trip called Ascent. And when you're able to go on a trip like that and be just in a very laid back environment, and all of the upper management's there. Scott's there, Tyler's there. These are the CEOs, CFOs, all of the upper echelons of ASEA are there, and their family, their wives. This time, Tyler brought one of his younger sons, and it's remarkable to see, one, the interaction they have, not just with their family, but with we, the distributors. And so when you sense that and you see the camaraderie and the true caring of one another, it's not just spoken, it's acted out. And so, wow, the first time that I went, I knew I'd found my tribe, my home. I was in the right place, and I was with the right company, and never experienced that in the 5 other companies that I had worked with. So does that answer your question, Cindy? Is that sort of the ethos?
That's beautiful. And I love the quote. And that sounds exactly like something Tyler would say. And we talk about this a lot, about our culture and our company and the ethos. And people just don't, they probably brush this off like, yeah, I sure, right. But this is real. And seriously, you and I and Doria as well, we've been in multiple jobs, corporate type jobs. There is nothing else. There is no other company I've ever worked for or heard of that has the character and the quality and the ethos that this company has. And the only way you will ever discover that is just to come along and join us. And that's what, I would love for people to do. It's rare that you could have an amazing product and an amazing team. That just is unheard of. But we have both. So that's awesome. I do have another question in the chat. I don't have any more. So it says, how do you pique interest for someone who's never heard of redox?
A couple different ways. One, I think that everybody on this call probably knows of somebody that may have a health challenge. And as a compassionate person, I feel like they deserve to know about it. Now, what they do with it is totally up to them. But I will offer that to somebody if I know that they've got a challenge. But as David Silverman said, number 6 on his list was the opportunity. And so for me, as an entrepreneur and a business builder, I usually lead first with the business opportunity because, in today's society, people are hurting. They're hurting financially as well. And it may be just that $500 may make the difference in a monthly budget for them to make a house note or whatever it is that they need. And so if I feel like that I can offer somebody an opportunity to make more money, I usually lead with that first. But many times, and more times than not, they will alert me in the conversation that, oh, by the way, I know of so-and-so. So I'm always open to referrals, but everybody knows somebody that may have a health challenge. And so we just believe that we have a product. We know it's foundational to the body. And once they understand the science of it, and of course, we could get really sciencey about trying to explain the biochemistry of what redox signaling molecules are. And that's difficult to do. I'll steer them to a video. We've got several tools that have been put together for us to educate people on how to build the business and how to learn what redox signaling is. So I will just point them in that direction. I don't try to be the expert. I'm just the messenger. And so that's what I do.
And I have one thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Doria. So you mentioned using the tools, and we usually show Alan Noble's video, the breakthrough video, the overview video. So there's a website out there for anyone that's not familiar with this technology. It's called realredoxresults.com. The password is redox, lowercase. And there are over 150 testimonials on there right now. You can search them based on categories. And Steve's is number 74. So you can always share that, go back and watch that. Plus, we will upload this to YouTube channel. It's Redox Nurse Talk. We'll have it up by in the morning. Doria, I'm going to let you have your turn with questions, and anyone else can still continue to put questions in the chat.
Well, I'm going to get more practical because that's the nurse side of me, Steve. So just I know you said that we use a tool. We don't get into the deep science of what redox signaling molecules are, but can you share just in your own words what was happening, the action, what was happening, during the process of you taking the redox signaling molecules? Can you kind of just share a little bit about what was going on in your body as you were taking these amazing molecules?
Yeah, great question, Doria. So, the first thing that I noticed, and I didn't really attribute it, but what can I say to be proper? Or so I'm gonna be proper and say acid reflux, whatever. But I've really had suffered from that. I love spicy food. Anybody on here that likes that, I do. But it's just the 2 a.m. in the morning waking up to that burn. And so once I started taking it, I noticed that went away, and I'd really never even thought about it. And of course, I was already taking it before I learned about my major health challenge. So, here's the thing that people don't know, or those that are involved with us know, that you get a little card in every box of ASEA, and it's like just a checklist. It's a 90-day scorecard to keep up with what's changing in your body. And while you may think that nothing's happening, if you honestly check that checklist, you'll find that something is changing, whether you're sleeping better, whether you have more energy, et cetera, et cetera. And if you just think about it, you'll realize, oh yeah, that I have noticed that, but I never gave the that reflux a thought until it dawned on me that I'm not experiencing it anymore. To go further, Doria, you know, I wouldn't have known about my other issue had I not gone from the medical scan to scan. Okay. And that's what told me that it was working. For men, we do what we call a PSA check. Those that have prostates, for me, I don't have a prostate gland. And so my PSA should be 0. But I'm still doing the checks every 90 days just from a AS, active surveillance, and I probably will be for the rest of my life, and that's okay. I'll do those. In fact, I did one today. I went to the doctor today and said, draw blood and just tell me what my PSA is for grins and giggles. So I'll monitor that. But for me, honestly, to answer your question, I would only have known by doing the test as to what was changing for me in my body. Now, in addition, I've always been very energetic. I feel like I don't require a lot of sleep. My body would probably desire more sleep than I give it, but I've always been high energy. So I wouldn't have thought that there was really any other changes, but gosh, you just never know. Your body is very intelligent. Every second of every day, your body is transmitting and signaling, and it's the biggest communication network ever designed. And so if it's not communicating effectively, you can't live in a vibrant, healthy body. And so I know that when I was doing it, I feel better. And for me, because if a question comes up, how much am I doing now? I'm not doing the 16 ounces, by the way. For me, a comfortable amount is about what Cindy was talking about, 6 to 8 ounces. If I were to get feel bad or whatever, and I don't, but if I did, I'd bump it up just a little bit. But I did back down from the 16 ounces as soon as I got a clean bill of health. And so my average amount, what my body works on, probably is 6 to 8 ounces as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's that Goldilocks a dose that often Dr. Lee also talks about. So we've talked about the flagship product, the Big Blue Bottle, which has an active redox signaling molecules in it and the gel. We know that the company has other products that work on redox potential. So are you currently also taking maybe the cell performance? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, and so by the way, you mentioned the flagship product. So we saw Dr. Silverman talk about the Big Blue Bottle and the gel, but there are 2 other items that have the redox in it, which we have a serum, and then we just came out with a clay mask. So I can see where Doria is going with the other divisions, but we have 4 separate divisions. So the cell performance, I absolutely do it every day. I do a bind. I mean, we have 4 products in the cell performance, which one is for energy and one is for mental focus called mind. Then we have a product called mood, which is for anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. And then the 4th one that we just came out with this past year, a little over a year ago, is Radiance, which is a collagen promoting product. So those 4 products round out our cell performance drink, which is a functional drink beverage line. And I take them every day. I do the Radiance every day, and twice a day I do a combination. I really like the combination of a mind and energy. And so I keep those mixed in a little Tupperware bowl thing already pre-mixed and ready to go. I just put it in my shaker cup, shake that up, and that keeps me going. So really love it. Love that line of products.
Explains why you're glowing so much since you're taking the radiance.
You know what? No, because I actually use the skincare products, which women love those and they glow, but I do them. In fact, I did a clay mask today. I did the we've got a great skincare line that's and by the way, our Radiance is a vegan based product. It's not ground up horse hooves or fish scales. You're typically, if people understand how collagen is made, there's a lot of product out there that just you're wasting your money taking. And in today's world, when you think about the number of people that have digestive issues, you've actually got to digest those ground up horse hooves or fish scales for your body to then go through 3 phases to ever produce the amino acids to then produce the collagen in your body. It's your body that's producing the collagen. And our product starts at the amino acid phase. And so it's not having to digest or any of that thing. So bigger bang for your buck. I'm just telling you with our product than some of the others, but I do that every day.
Awesome. Wonderful. Yeah. So I just love how our company just takes pride and then, like you said, integrity to, the Cell Performance line just came out recently, but they do everything, all the research that they know to do to bring a quality product for us. Our vitamins are bioavailable and, come from, great sources. And just like you talked about the Cell Performance, and they'll, even the ingredient with the saffron in it, in the mood, just going, it's expensive as it is, using that, in that product to, make a nice blend for us. So very proud to be a part of the company, but I don't have any other questions for you. I don't, does anybody else have any questions in the chat here? I don't.
I will tell what I was going to
Okay.
try to copy and paste the video that I did from David Silverman, but I'm afraid I may mess something up. So if you'll just go to YouTube and search Dr. David Silverman, 6 Reasons in ASEA, or ASEA's 6 Reasons, it should pop up. And that's a very common one that we use a lot too. There's some great ones out there.
Yeah.
Any other questions in the chat? Do you see any, Dory? I don't see
Nope,
any.
I don't see any other questions here.
Okay. You want to close us out, Doria?
Yes.
And we thank you, Steve, tonight for
Yeah.
doing this, but I'll let Doria close it out.
Yeah. Thank you for your transparency and your authenticity and showing your passion about the product and what it's done for you. So, again, are there some guests on this evening? Please get back to the person that invited you to our Zoom. Just like Cindy alluded to, we have the Real Redox Results site that you can ask that person about and see more in depth about what this product can do for you. And then there'll be also some testimonials as well. So next week, on June 25th, we have Pope Dillon. He's from Pinehurst, North Carolina. He's a retired naval officer that was a pilot while he served his time there. And his testimony is a lot like what you've heard this evening that Steve had shared. And this was in reference to his sister that had a reoccurrence of bad cells, and how it will share his testimony on how redox, got her to a, better state of wellness, and then also helping her to stay resilient to the effects of that as well. So that's next week. And like Cindy said, go to the YouTube channel. That's what you'll see a recording of this up probably in the next couple hours. And we invite you back again next Tuesday to invite other people to hear more about this wonderful product.
And Beth Otten just put the link for Dr. Silverman's video in the chat. So if anyone wants to copy that before we end, feel free to do that. We appreciate everyone coming, and we appreciate you, Steve, once again. And like Doria said, we'll share this to our YouTube channel. So y'all have a great night. Does everyone have it copied before I stop? I'll go ahead and stop the Zoom or the recording, and then we'll make sure everyone has it.